What's up, Wild Bill? How you doing, man? Having a good evening. Getting everything set up. Was actually watching Pilot Ryan and Mary Boozer's Wesley a while ago. It was pretty funny. The guys looked like they were having a good time in Florida. I wish I could go to Florida and get some flying done, man. The weather here, the wind, it's not been real good. This past weekend was pretty good, but again, I've always got stuff I got to do, and when I can fly, it's windy, just like this afternoon. What's up, Gus? How are you, man? Flight engineer. I'm doing great, man. Hope you are. Just hanging out, man. Just telling Bill, I was just sitting here watching Wesley Boozer and Pilot Ryan. They had a live come up from down in Florida a while ago, and we're hanging out with each other. That's pretty cool. Ryan was saying that he had to get down to Florida so he could do some flying because the weather in Indiana has been bad. I get it. It's been bad here in North Carolina as far as the wind. It's been windy. That's crap all day today. I can tell you that. Not too good. What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? Mr. Deuces Wild in the house. Yeah, back at you, bud. How you been? I like that X-Fly jet, man. That thing looks pretty nice. You see some flight footage. When's that coming up? Hey, if you're getting any fly time in, you're doing better than I'm doing right now, man. I can tell you that right now. It looks like a nice jet, though. X-Fly is doing some pretty good stuff, man, from what I'm seeing. What's up, Jeff, down in Lower Alabama? How are you, buddy? I'm just hanging out tonight, guys. As you all know, there's not a whole lot going on right now between everybody having bad weather, windy weather. Not a whole lot of flying going on. We've had a few of our guys get out a little bit at the field and get a few flights in. But like I said, nothing spectacular. Bill, quick on the draw, man. What has the blue paint? This is actually a plane I am painting for a friend of mine, man. This is a project for a friend of mine down in Florida, actually, that he brought me this right before Christmas. And I painted his L39, and he wanted me to paint this one for him as well. So when he came down in Florida to see from Florida in December to see his family, he brought this for me. And so we're working on it. This is actually the Carbon Z T28, and we are doing it in a Navy scheme. And I think Hobby King actually put out this plane with the scheme on it a while back, and he really liked the scheme, but he wanted his big Carbon Z done like that. I said, hey man, that ain't a problem. So that's what we're doing. T-Cat, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? Good to see you. Appreciate all you guys coming in here. Everybody's like rolling in now. What's up, Ray? How are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm painting this, and I was telling the guys last week on this airplane, any of you guys that have had this plane or have this plane, you know, it's a wonderful flying airframe. Hence the reason everybody loves the new E-flite 1.2 meter T28, I suppose. And I'm hoping eventually they'll come out with the 2 meter again in the smart technology. But I've already redone mine, so the gear, the lights, I've kind of got mine like I want it. But this one I'm painting for a friend, and like I said, the foam quality on some of this particular airplane was not spectacular in my opinion, so I've had to do a lot of spackling and a lot of sanding. I don't like seams, and I don't like unsmooth foam, and a lot of times with these planes, when if you do remove decals, you disrupt the foam, and what I mean by that is you kind of fur up the finish underneath the sticker when you pull the sticker off of the foam. And for any of you guys, I'm sure Victor, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys have redone planes. When you peel that sticker up, it furs up the foam, so you have to go in there and you got to spackle it, you got to sand it, and of course, you know, I'm OCD on stuff, and so as I do that, I cannot stand not to do the rest of the plane. To me, it's almost like, why have one smooth spot and then you see the foam, you know, kind of like the texture of the foam in other places. I can't stand it, so I just start putting really light coats of spackle on and sanding. Again, this plane is turning out really well. The rudder on this airplane was the worst, I think the worst foam quality as far as what I've seen. As far as having a lot of spacing between you know, they take styrofoam balls and put them in a mold and they meld them together. Okay, we all know that. Well, with this plane, the rudder area in the back of this plane right here, in between the smashed foam, you can see like little lines and indentions. So I couldn't stand that, and especially when you prime it, you start shooting primer on it, and you actually see more of that. It kind of starts bringing these things to life. And if any of you guys have ever painted a dark color, such as this one, on an airplane, the darker the color of the paint on an airplane foam, the more imperfections you start seeing. Hence the black on the AL-37, guys. That's why I had to have that so smooth, is because, again, I did not want to see any imperfections in that black paint, because black shows everything on that foam. So this, again, was an undertaking, because I had to go in and spackle just about this whole rudder section, both sides. I had to prime, I had to sand, I had to prime, I had to sand, and then I started painting the blue, as you see here. This is a beautiful blue. This is actually, a Rust-Oleum 2x paint. I love that paint for painting this foam if you do it properly. This color is called ink blue. Very, very nice, pretty color. And again, we all know that looking at it on the video as you're seeing it doesn't do it as much justice. It's actually a little bit deeper than what you guys are seeing. It's just a great color, but it's almost spot on for the T-28 in the Navy scheme as far as the match. I could not ask for a better match. And so, like I said, I'll show you. Again, I've got the rudder section done, and these are the horizontal stabilizers, elevators. As you can see, you notice the quality of the paint. Notice the shine on it. And this will also get polyacrylic as well, guys. Again, now, when I paint stuff like this, I don't like to get paint on these areas, because that's going to slide into this receptacle right here, and I don't want a lot of paint, because then you're having to force things. So I try to keep paint off of certain areas. What I've got to do with these now is I've got to go in here and paint all of this white, because this is just primer. This is white primer, the Rust-Oleum 2x flat white primer. And I will go in here and I will paint all of this white that you see here with a satin white. And then once this is painted satin white, this will all be polyacrylic with probably a gloss, because he wants this plane to look pretty shiny. And as you can see, the paint's already pretty shiny here, but it's going to be even more shiny when I'm finished. Victor, you're going to love an airbrush, man. Hang you up a piece of paper, man, or either a cardboard box, and use your airbrush with your body, and almost hold your wrist. I'm left-handed, so hold your elbows into your body and kind of paint with an airbrush like this. Lean towards your paper and pull back. And I'm promising you, this will give you a lot steadier hand. And I used to paint motorcycle tanks on Harleys and helmets and everything with an airbrush. So there is an art to it, but it's easy to pick up on. What's up, Mr. Jackson RC Aviation? Hope you're doing well tonight, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm just talking about this airplane and what we're going to do to it. This is going to look really nice. I think my friend's going to be very happy with this once we get it all said and done. I'll show you as well this is one of the wings. As you can see here, if you notice the finish, notice how smooth that is. That is with no polyacrylic on it, guys. That is just spackled, primed, sanded, and primed again, and then painted. So I'm pretty proud of how this is turning out. I mean, this looks really nice. But again, guys, I'm going to point this out to you in case any of you guys have this airplane. This right here, this flap, is going to get hinge tape because, as you can see, it is already just about to come off of this airplane. As you can see, there's a big gap in here where the foam has already torn just from moving it around. But that will be taken care of and fixed once I'm finished with that. But yeah, so if you have this airplane, definitely put hinge tape on these flaps. You will thank me later. Thanks, JT. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is only paint, no polyacrylic, and you see how good this looks already, guys. So again, this is the Rust-Oleum 2 times, and this is also spackled and sanded to get this smooth effect just from the paint so far. And yeah, Victor, that's right, man. You've got to get that primer and the spackling and everything really smooth on these airplanes to get that nice finish. And kind of hide that foam look, you know. I can just about make an airplane look like composite by the time I'm finished with it. If it's painted properly. Again, and it's all in the prep work, guys. Everything's in the prep work. But Victor, when you lay on paint with an airbrush, the molecule is not flattened out like it is with a brush. Hence the reason spray paint looks so much better than brushed on paint. Because the molecule comes out of a can and it's round and it dries in that roundness. So therefore, it gives off light in 3 dimension. Versus a molecule that's been put on with a brush is flattened out, and so the molecule only gives out light in basically in 1 dimension. So anytime you can use a spray versus a paint on brush, you're going to get such a better finish. But as we all know, you know, spray paints can have propellants in the can that cause problems to the foam if not done properly. So that being said, I always like to either A, hold really far back from a can on the first coats of paint on any foam airplane, or B, I will polyacrylic the entire plane first, then paint. Because if you do that, the polyacrylic protects the foam from gatoring from the propellants in your spray paint. So it's a little more drawn out process. You can paint an airplane with primer if you hold away from your plane about a foot and a half and just do a light spray, let it dry, then come back, and you're pretty much free to do what you want to at that point. So yeah, Victor, I like the blue on this too, man. It's called ink blue, and it is Rust-Oleum 2 times, and yeah, you would probably love this color. This came from Walmart, actually, in their paint section. Let's see. Yeah, bigger planes, they're a little harder, Victor. If you've got a bottom feed airbrush that holds a large container of paint, it's not. Whereas a top fed, it can only hold a thimble size amount of paint. So I have 2 airbrushes. I have a bottom feed airbrush that I can put about probably a 5-ounce bottle of paint on. And then I have my top fed brush that is, as you well know, the little cup on top that's not big as a shot glass. So anytime you want to do big jobs, always get a airbrush that is bottom fed that you can put big bottles of paint on. That's what they use typically when you see t-shirt guys doing t-shirts and things like that. They use the bottom fed airbrushes because they hold more paint by far. And I can take bottles of paint and stick them right on my airbrush and keep moving, you know. So if I'm doing like a blue and a white with an airbrush, I can clean the brush, put my white on, clean the brush, put my blue on, go back and forth. So that makes a big difference too. Mr. Michael Reiska, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. We're just sitting here chewing the fat over some painting techniques and painting this big Carbon Z for a friend of mine. Again, this is the finish that this isn't even finished now. This is how funny I am. I'm OCD when it comes to a paint job. I do not like to see imperfections in the foam, period. I like to try to make it look as much like composite as I possibly can. And as I say, guys, once this has the gloss polyacrylic on here, it's going to look like money. And I'll tell you another thing too, guys. Anytime, the higher the shine you paint on any surface, it doesn't matter if it's a cabinet, it doesn't matter if it's an airplane. The higher the shine, the more imperfections you show as well. So the darker the color and the higher the shine, you're going to see more imperfections. That's typically why wall paint in a house, or ceiling paint in particular, is flat, because it shows less imperfections. Now you can go to an eggshell, satin. Those a lot of times people will use for wall paint or trim in their house. But a lot of times flat is the go-to because it hides your sheetrock imperfections. It hides all kinds of crap. So always remember, when you're painting something, if you want a higher gloss shine, you're going to show more imperfections. If you're using a matte finish such as polyacrylic or a spray clear in a matte, you're going to hide imperfections and the plane's going to look, somewhat not as, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to look great, but a lot of times people don't want warbirds, some warbirds, like, for instance, my F7F Tiger Cat from Flightline. It is flat. It came flat. I like it flat. FMS, on the other hand, theirs has a shine to it. Depends on what you like. Some guys take the Flightline and they put a gloss on it and make it shiny. I like the flat on that particular airplane. My Spitfire, my Corsair, I put a matte finish on those as well. I did not want those to be shiny. Again, some people like a shiny Corsair. Depends on what you want it to look like. But again, if you have an airplane, especially with a darker color like this, and the darker color is going to show more imperfections as it is, when you put a high gloss on this finish, you're going to see even more imperfections. So just because it might look good if the paint's flat or if the paint is satin, such as I have here, when you go putting a gloss finish, you're going to see any imperfection on that airplane. So be ready for that and know that it's going to happen. But yeah, I don't do a whole lot of stuff shiny unless that plane is like this one, the T-28, in this scheme. It has more shine because I guess it's kind of flashy and showy anyway. Kind of like the, Blue Angels F-18 is very shiny. But then again, a lot of your jets are very flat. Your A-10 is very flat. That would not be a jet that I personally would make it shiny. Let's see. What's everybody talking about here? So yeah, anytime, like I say, guys, you're wanting to decide on your paint colors, always think about what the finished product's going to look like. Even if you're putting, you can paint any airplane you want to paint flat. You can paint all your colors flat and then finish it with a gloss clear if you want it to be shiny. If you want it to be matte, use a matte clear. If you want a satin finish, go with satin. But you can make all of your base colors, you can make those as flat as you want them to be and let your finish. That's what they do with a car, man. When they paint a car, all cars are typically flat and then they put the gloss on it, and that's what makes it shiny. So, and that's exactly right, Ray. It depends on the plane. So everything, different people have different likes. Some people take a plane that should be flat and they want it shiny. So that's what's great about doing what you like. Um, yeah, show planes exactly. And this scheme is more of a show scheme, I believe, for that this gentleman wanted on this airplane. Like I said, Hobby King put this plane out a while back in this particular scheme, and it's really nice looking. There are real ones. I found them online. That's more or less kind of what I'm going by, is the real ones. But they're all very shiny finish on those airplanes too. Let's see. Yeah, combat planes are dull. That's right. I tell you what, man, it was windy as mud out today. Mud. I don't know where I got that from. Um, but yeah, very windy today. It was warm. It's probably what 70 here in North Carolina today. It's supposed to be up in the 80s by Friday, but it's a lot of wind because these fronts are trying to decide, what they want to do with the temperatures. And then also, we're getting into March, which is also going to be our windy time of year typically, March into April. So you never know. Paul McNeil, how are you, man? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in here tonight. I'm just hanging out with the fellas in here. Hope all you guys are enjoying the show. What little bit I've got to talk about. Not a whole lot. Like I said, not a lot going on. Everybody's kind of sitting around waiting on things. So it's a good time to work on things and get your projects done. And if you got a plane you want to tinker on or make it look better, now's the time. And then break it out in the spring. I've got to get this one maidened. I've got my F-14 I've got to get maidened. What else have I got to do? I've got to get T-34. Bill and myself have got to get this back out and get it maidened. Got two sitting here. That's right. Got to be done. So, got a lot going on, man. It doesn't look like it, but it does. And, again, I'm trying to fly anytime I get an opportunity, but it's just the weather's not been good, and I'm not going to get out there and take a chance on tearing up something on a what if. Exactly, Roy. I'm ready for some spring, too. I'm ready to be able to wear my shorts all the time. I hate wearing long pants. Yeah, painting is tough. That's why I heat my garage, and typically I'll crack a window and I'll get in here and start painting some stuff. And I got a fan I can turn on and pull some out of here if I need to. But yeah, I do it in kind of stages. But at least I can get out here and work in the garage and get some things done. Fuel pump. And again, guys, if anybody knows someone that has a elevator for my P47D from Hangar 9 20cc model, let me know. They got a wrecked one or whatever. I've looked everywhere, man. We've done a Google search everywhere. We cannot find that elevator. It's $59 if you can find it. You can't find it. Nobody has it. It's either out of stock, sold out, back ordered. And Horizon Hobby, of course, they discontinued another great airplane. So what's up, Mr. Lyndon Stewart? All the way from South America. How are you, man? Appreciate you coming in here tonight. I saw you earlier in the Pilot Ryan and Boozer's Clip It special they had on down in Florida. I'm sure you got warm weather where you are. But yeah, if any of you guys know anybody that's got a wrecked P47D, the 20cc Hangar 9 ARF kit or whatever, I've got enough sitting up here in the box to build a brand new one. And I'd like to do an electric conversion because I've got my big one over here. You can actually see a wing of it. No, where's that? Back over here somewhere. And it's got the Sato in it. And I have not flown it yet. That's something else I got to get done. And I'll tell you something, guys. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you buy hamburger buns, hot dog buns, certain times of the year, whatever. But I was going to tell you, these things right here come off of your bread typically. Get that where you can see it. These guys are awesome. Okay, and I'll tell you why. You're thinking, well, why are they awesome? Well, first of all, we all have a lot of wires with these airplanes, right? And these little guys right here are so cool because you can, the fact that they kind of open like this and they have these notches, you can take your wires and push them down into them. And if you have a cluster of wires, you can organize your wires better with these throughout the airplane. These weigh nothing. They weigh nothing. And if you want them to look better, you can round them a little bit. Knock these, you see how they got little things on the edges of them. You can take those off. But these will hold your wires, guys. And I'm telling you, they work great. Zip ties are great. These don't cost nothing. And you're going to typically throw them in the trash. So we eat a particular bread here. It's called Dave's Killer Bread. We love it, right? And these come on. We buy 2 loaves at the time at Sam's. I save these because they're great for organizing wires in your airplane. You can also push them into foam, like if you wanted these to run down the inside of your fuselage, put a little foam tack on that edge, and with those little things that stick out, stick them right into your foam, and now you've got an area for all your wires to run down the fuselage of your airplane. You can turn them this way, you can have them straight up, buried in the bottom, buried in the side. These are great, guys, and they're free. We're going to throw them away. And unlike a zip tie, once you put a zip tie on, you have to cut them off. These right here, you just can pull your wires right back out, but your wires will stay in them. So, yeah. And that's why I say, yeah, Bill, you can glue them down. They're great, man. I've got them in different colors here because I've been saving them. As I said, I got a whole handful of them right there, a bunch of them in green and blue, but they come off of any kind of bread practically that you buy. But like I said, the cool thing is, if you notice, the little tabs on all the way around them, they'll push right into your foam and lock in really nicely, and then your wires go right down in here, and the little tabs hold your wires in really good, and they don't move. They stay in a cluster, and so, hey, always thinking, I don't throw nothing away, man. I'm telling you. It's like I try to think of a use for everything. I can't stand to throw things away, especially plastic. But these work great. And like I said, you can put them right inside of your fuselage and run your wires. They'll hold them in. And you can paint them if you want to them to match your plane or disappear inside. But, yeah, they're great. And so get you a little bowl or something in the kitchen, and every time you take one off a loaf of bread or whatever, throw it in the bowl and keep it. After a while, you'll have several, and you can use them in your airplanes. They're really cool when they take up, no space. What's up, Mr. Barry Campbell? How are you, buddy? Just enough RC. Do we ever get enough? I have to ask you that every time, man. See Snow Valley's in here. Hey, Roy, I'm always trying to do things for you guys, man. It's the little things that matter, right? The little tips. Nothing big. Just, I hate to throw things away. And to a degree, I'm a tightwad. I hate to go buy zip ties and you put them on something and then you go, oh, man, I didn't put that, and you got to cut it off. And you got to use another one. I love zip ties, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's a pain about the time you think you got everything right, and you got to go take them all off because you need to reroute a wire, or you got to unplug something and put it on a servo tester, and you can't quite maneuver it in all your zip ties. These things are the ticket, I'm telling you. Gary says I'm going out to buy a bunch of bread. Hey, man, I'm telling you, we go to Sam's, and like I said, we buy the Dave's Killer Bread. We love it, and it comes two loaves in one plastic bag. Well, the plastic bag has got one on it that holds the 2 loaves, and then each loaf has one on it. So I get 3 of these things every time we go to Sam's and buy bread. I get 3 of them. So I like I said, a couple of weeks ago, no, it was probably a month ago, I was thinking, damn, there's got to be a use for these. What can I do with these besides throw them away? And I thought, man, these are great for putting your wires in and having a channel, and they'll go right into your foam inside your fuselage. Put a little foam tack. They're there, man. They're not going anywhere. So yeah, yeah, bread and butter, the miracles of life. That's right, T-Cat. You know all about it, man. Exactly. Maybe I'll invest in a bakery. I hear you, Michael. Hey, man. Again, it's the little things. You never know. Um, that's right, Roy. It seems like every time you get your zip ties right, you got to take them off for some damn reason. It's like crap, you know. You find a wire you didn't tuck in, or you got one you need to pull back out. It's a pain, man. These you don't have to. So these remind me, like, I have the servo, the male females where they plug in together. I've got the clips that hold those together. Those are cool too. When you're joining two servo leads together, those little clips that slide down and keep the two ends connected. Those are great. I get those at zoomrc.net. He sells a bunch of different colors in those, so if you want your stuff color coordinated, those things are great, guys, because you ain't got to worry about your servos pulling apart. And a lot of the new plane companies have gotten smart and put the little clips on that when you slide the servo lead in, it locks in place. Those are cool, but invariably, if you ever have to pull those apart for some reason, those little tips break off. So get you some of these. I think a pack is maybe, I don't know, a pack of those at Zoom RC might be 10 in a pack. And I think they might be, gosh, what, a couple of bucks. I mean, and they come in red, blue, yellow, I think green. So yeah, so you know, if you want to say designate a certain color for ailerons be blue on a plane, well, okay, and then ailerons are always blue. If you want your rudder to be red, then there you go. I mean, that way you always know kind of what things are too. Captain Photon, what's up, buddy? Power Ranger in the house. Oh man, love the video, man. Love the video. Superstar. Oh, that's right, man. If you get some bread and butter clips, you never go hungry working on planes. That's right. Hey, like I said, little things, man. And look, every piece of trash we keep and use for stuff, guys, it doesn't go back in the landfill. You know? That's like using plastic bottles and clear plastic bottles, drinking water bottles. If you ever need to make a light for something, you can mold it with a heat gun. Okay, I'm telling you. A heat gun, you can mold this plastic. It works great. You can make leading edge out of plastic. If you got planes that you're scuffing up the leading edge on all the time, get some clear plastic, cover it. You know, glue it down. Let's see. A lot of guys have the complaint sometimes. They say, well, why didn't they put plastic, you know, on this edge? I keep bumping it and stuff like that. If you'll find you some hard plastic, you know, that comes off, say for instance, this is just an example right here. Again, I keep everything, right? What did this come off of? I can't remember. Anytime I get plastic like this, I try to keep it because it does work really great. And this one here works good because I put stuff I need to reorder in, like the tabs off of a servo or anything I need to reorder from Dubro, whatever. I stick it in this little bin here. Look, Guniac afterburner cards I keep in there. But no, like this is just plastic, right? Clear plastic. And I mean, you can cut this stuff, guys, like the inside here. You can mix epoxy in these, toss it. But the inside of that, you could cut it, bend it, mold it with a heat gun, and apply it to a leading edge with some clear CA or foam tack. You got a harder edge, and you're not banging up your edge and knocking paint off of it. And you can also paint over this if you choose, and you'll have an even harder edge with paint on it. So, but I like stuff like this. I think some servos may have something came in this, but like I said, I try to keep my tabs and everything for stuff I need to order, you know, in here. And once I place an order, you know, if you spend $100 at certain places, you get free shipping. Well, that ain't always hard to do. You know, sometimes you just need a part, and you're like, man, I don't want to pay shipping. But like servo leads, if I go through a bag of servo leads for a reason, I put my bag in here, and so next time I order, I know I need some 12-inch servo extension cables. Motion RC right here. So I keep that in here. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Just keep your stuff, keep your tabs. You know, right here is the safety locks from Dubro. I need some more of those. I need to place an order with Dubro. These are my Zoom RC tabs for different stuff that I order from them. Like I said, the servo connectors. I need to place an order there. That was spiral wrap for wires as well. That's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, always keep your little baggies if they have a label on them. Like these two baggies right here are both servo lead connectors. Well, guys, if you if you need, say, something for an airplane and you hate ordering just one part, you'd be surprised how quick you acquire things like this, so that when you go to order something, you can place that $100 order and you don't pay shipping. And every little bit helps, because that's a part. Rather than shipping, you're paying, you get a part. And so that's kind of what I do. I typically save all this kind of stuff, and when I get ready to make up an order at Motion or Horizon Hobby or wherever I'm ordering from, it's typically not hard to spend $100, because I've got a little thing like this full of stuff I need, and I just acquire it over time, So, again, just another idea I'm passing out to you guys. There are guys on RC Group selling canopies for the BEA Hawk. He molds out of bottles. Exactly, man. That's what I'm telling you. You can take plastic bottles, man, and use a heat gun and mold that stuff amazingly. Again, a lot of times, guys, if you get clear plastic, save it. You can make light covers if you lose a light cover. If you put lights on a plane and you don't have covers, you can make them. I mean, yeah, Jerry, I feel you, man. But you know what? Again, I hate to throw away stuff. It's funny, these little things here that come out of your airplanes, these little squishy things for you underneath your battery. I use the nicer, thick stuff. It's like shelf liner from Harbor Freight. It's pretty much kind of the same thing, but it's thicker, a little spongier for better grip. But I save these. I don't know why. I do. I mean, I've got, look at all the bind plugs, because you get bind plugs. I've got bags of bind plugs. Again, why? I don't know. I've got another thing here of different wires that I saved in case I need a piece of wire. Look at these little things here, like, balance connectors. There's a balance lead off of an old battery. Why do I save these? I don't know, but I do. You don't ever know, man. Well, look, guys, if whenever I have a crash in an airplane, you can't find much when I'm done with it. I try to strip out every piece of carbon spar. I strip out every servo, whether they're good or bad, because I still take the leads off of the servos, and you never know if you need a servo gear. So I save those. I save the servo arms. I save the screw that holds the arm on. There's nothing. Other than a pile of foam when I'm done. I'm saving them. Look, this is funny right here. These are the stickers off of the T-28 that I'm painting. Where you walk on the wing, the matte black. Why I'm saving it, I don't know. But I do. I save it because this matte black is really cool. And you never know when you might need something for something. I don't know. And my wife does vinyl. That's what's so funny about it. We've got vinyl, but I just keep that stuff. So yeah. I buy skewers by the bag because these are really cool. My buddy, Just Plain Crazy, he's always using skewers to reinforce a wing, a plane, or whatever. If I need to fix something, I can find it in this shop somewhere, a piece of something to fix it. I say, the foam pieces that come out of your boxes that go over a wing and they're just a block of foam. I saved several of those. I've got a pile of those over here. Why? Because if you ever bust, a piece of foam out of a wing for whatever reason, you just take a piece of that, you cut it to fit your spot, you slide it in, you sand it back smooth, you fill it in with foam rather than nothing or spackle. I'd rather use foam if I got to. So I save some of the nicer foam, the denser, harder foam that comes out of some of these boxes. I save it. Um, hey man, I'm frugal like that. I'm sorry. Um, it is hard to throw stuff away, man. Um, the problem is as you get older, you forget where you put things. It's like, damn, I know I've got it, but where did I put it? um, I call the packing boxes for planes coffins because whenever I scavenge from a crash goes into the box and I know to find specific parts and pieces of the future. Yeah, that's funny. Well, I say whoever designs the boxes for these airplanes are just as talented as whoever builds the damn airplane. They don't get no credit. You know what I mean? Those boxes are pretty intricate, and I mean, how these planes fit in there, guys. Think about it. The dude that designs the damn packaging for these airplanes deserves a round of applause because, I mean, I know the guy that builds the plane is pretty cool, but the guy that makes the box for this thing to get all the way over here in China and be in pretty much good quality shape unless UPS or FedEx beats it around. I mean, come on, man. That's you got to give those guys making these boxes props, man, and how well everything fits. You need to come party, man. We need to party. We need to fly. We need to get it done. Yeah, they do have therapy classes but there are worse things, I guess, right, Michael? OCD, it's a curse, but it's a good one, I guess. That could be a lot worse. And Satan vinyl calls for it shiny vinyl. Satin vinyl. Yes, it does. Isn't that a trip? Satin vinyl does cost more. And matte costs more, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, like I say, Wayne, it's one of those things, man. It's almost, at some point you have to purge. And it's hard because you start going, if I throw it away, and the funny thing is, if you throw it away, you're going to damn sure need it within the next few days. And you're kicking yourself because you're going, dang, I knew I shouldn't have thrown that away. It's always how it is, man. It's always how it is. Every time I get rid of some stuff, I end up needing it, And it's like, man, I knew I shouldn't have thrown that away. So any of you guys ever, off the subject of RC, but you know how I'm always kind of watching TV shows, certain things. Have any of you guys seen the Netflix series called Queen of the South? If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It is awesome. It's based around a drug cartel, and this particular young lady starts out with nothing from Mexico as a mule for the cartel and ends up being the cartel. But it's pretty cool along the way, man. I mean, it's kind of like the Breaking Bad of cocaine and heroin. As far as the show can go, and a lot of shoot 'em up, bang bang, if you know what I mean, and it can be pretty violent, man, but it's a really, really good show. I think we're like into the third season of it now, and there might be 5 or 6 seasons, but it's really, really good, and that's Queen of the South. If you guys haven't seen that and you like a really good action-packed kind of, cartel kind of thing, like Narcos or something like that, Queen of the South is awesome on Netflix. Definitely check them out. Let's see. Those people on that show will just kill you for no reason. So Yellowstone 1883. That's good to know. Awesome, man. But there's going to be a third spinoff like 1932. Oh, cool, man. Well then, Ricky, you would love it, man. You would love this movie. like I said, some wicked happenings and things afoot on that show. And the girl that's one of the main stars of it, she is pretty badass. She doesn't start out that way, but she learns quick that you got to be to survive, especially with these crazy cartel people, because they will cut you up in little pieces. And in one scene, they're playing kickball with some dude's head. I mean, so, yeah. Wayne's RC, what's up? How are you? Yeah, so we're supposed to be getting some warmer weather, but then I think cooler for the weekend, of course, which means the wind will be kicked back up because it'll be blowing the cool air back in. And then by the following week, it'll be warm again. So we're kind of this up and down thing right now because, like they say here in North Carolina, if you want different weather, give it 5 minutes and you'll get all 4 seasons in a matter of a day, typically around here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as you throw something away, Gus, you're going to need it, man. That's how it works. And you're kicking yourself, especially if you got to go rebuy it. Oh, well then, Ricky, you need to watch it, buddy. You'll like it. I promise. Yes. Action-packed in many ways. A lot of chicantos and chiquitas. Nah, them people, them guys are pretty bad with the guns, man. I'm telling you, they don't play. So yeah, so a lot of people right now are kind of waiting on airplanes to come in. I know still, talk about it every week. Who's going to get the PJ50 or the J65 first? Motion RC or BitGo? As we all know, BitGo, Banana Hobby are both selling the J65 here, and Motion also has their PJ50. And I think both are expected about the same time, mid-March. But hopefully, things might get here a little sooner. Yeah, you can keep that, Ricky. Hopefully, normally a lot of times Motion will say a certain time, and normally it's a couple of weeks earlier. So in that, hopefully between Motion and BitGo, somebody will be early. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But then that means I got something else to do because I got to totally paint that airplane too. Damn. Oh man, lots to do. That's all right though. We're having fun. That's all that matters, right? So how about you guys? Anybody ordered the new E-flite 1.2 meter T-28? It looks like a great plane. FMS had a great one about that size too. I can't remember if theirs was 1.2 or 1400 millimeter. But that FMS was a nice T-28 as well. Yeah, I hope so, Lionel. I'm looking forward to it, man. But yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where I think that the E-flite T-28's super nice. Again, I wish they'd have made it in this size right here, the Carbon Z size, which is a 2 meter. But I understand not everybody wants a plane that big. And so, for guys that, want a plane in that size range of a 1.2 or 1400 millimeters, perfect, especially for possible big park flyer, things like that. It does have great looking scheme, of course. It looks like this one used to before I pulled everything off of it. So, yeah, Paul McNeil says I have a UMX Pitts on pre-order. That's cool, man. Those seem to be nice planes, too. I've never owned a Pitts, but I know that there is a Pitts family tree. We've seen that. And a lot of you guys love the pits. I know they've made the UMX. I know they've made the bigger ones, different sizes. There's like, what, 3 or 4 different sizes? Excuse me. Man, it's almost bedtime. Yeah, they look like they fly really good. I'm just not a bi-wing plane person. I've got a Dynam PT-17 that you guys have seen on my channel that I painted in the Navy scheme, and it looks really nice. It flies good once I got it dialed in and got enough nose weight in it. Flies good, looks great in the air. I'm not a bi-wing plane person though, so doesn't really do it for me. None of those planes do. But there's a lot of you guys out there that love them, so. Dustin, that you guys know Dustin from doing the show with me. He's got the bigger, I think it's the FMS, bigger pits that he's got. Yeah, Wayne, mine's on the way too, buddy. I'm waiting on mine too. But yeah, Dustin's got that pits, and he likes it. He said the landing gear on it was weak on the FMS. He had to do some work on it as well. Yeah, Lionel, there's several things about the X-Fly that I think are nicer, in my opinion, than the Motion. And I'm all about free wing, guys. I've got a ton of free wing airplanes hanging in here, don't get me wrong. Probably about 80% of my fleet is free wing. So this is the first time I've ever gone with something different. So again, I'm hoping I won't be disappointed. But I saw this plane early on. I saw it about a month and a half before it was produced or released, as it would be. And I also saw it fly on grass. I saw it fly without a gyro, and it was very stable without a gyro. So with the gyro, it's going to really lock it in. It did amazingly well on grass, and it was a lush, thicker grass, taller grass. It did very well. Good flight times. But yeah, I mean, the J65, the gear on it, hands down to me, the gear along with the wheels, winner. Okay, that's in the win column. Paint job, winner. The paint on it, from what I understand from some guys that have tried to get the paint off, it's like you got to almost blow it off with a damn dynamite. That's almost unheard of on a foam airplane, So that's another winner. The windows being molded into the foam, another winner. Also, the lights are a cooler Kelvin. They're not that yellowish color like on the Motion RC one. Kind of like what's on the front of this plane, the T-45. It has the old train looking light on the main nose gear. Motion, I love you guys, but update your lights, man. I mean, Mickey BRC did a great video on how to upgrade the lights on the PJ50. He put a higher Kelvin light in the nose landing gear and in the intermittent lights on each wing for landing lights. What a difference, man. I mean, just the cooler lights and everything just made such a difference in just making the small details, or everything on that airplane. And, again, guys, if I'm going to sit here and sand and prime and paint and rub and get a plane to look good, just things like lights are important. And if you don't have to mess with those things, well, then again, that's a winner. And so on the J65, like I said, the gear just are, the wheels are so much better looking. The lights are better looking. You get a bigger airplane. The paint job is amazing. The one thing on the Motion that I really like are the intakes underneath the nacelles are chrome. The ones on the J65, I think, are almost like maybe painted silver. I was glad to see that hey, Raymond, how you doing, man? I was glad to see that the rings around the intakes on the EDFs were chrome on the J65, because at first it looked like they were just going to be painted silver as well. So that was one thing about the Motion plane that I really liked, was the chrome rings. And then the what's the little intake there underneath the nacelles? I can't, SMP or whatever it is, the intakes. Those on the Motion plane are silver. They're chrome, which looks really nice. So on the J65, once I get it, I know you can get those pieces from Motion. I may end up getting those and putting on mine when I customize it. Version 2 of the FMS Pit 1400 FMS Badass, best of. Yeah, and that's the thing, Paul. It is a nice looking plane. They did a great job on that. I think, like I said, I think Dustin had to reinforce the gear on it a little bit because it wasn't quite strong enough. But he handled it. He got it done. T-Cat says it looks like the X-Fly may have changes that, and the J65 may have chrome leading edge and nacelles. Well, we'll see. X-Fly may have changes that J65 may. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, T-Cat. I would love to see, like, on the leading edges here, like I put silver tape on every leading edge of this AL37. I know the Motion RC is painted silver. I will do mine in silver tape regardless of what APU. Thank you, Lionel. I appreciate it. Yes. If the J65 that I'm getting does not have silver leading edges, I will put silver tape right over that anyway. I just think the silver tape looks better. And yeah, the nacelle leading edge on the J65 is a chrome ring now. It wasn't in the beginning in the first production that I saw, but it is now. The one that Pilot Ryan unboxed a couple of weeks ago on BitGo's, on his live show with BitGo, they were chrome like the Motion RC has. And that looked really good, but the APU was a silver. It was not chrome like on the Motion. I added a landing light to the nose gear of my Carbon Z. Yeah, Paul, this plane, I've already got all the lights ready to install for this plane, and mine already has them. I've already done mine, so when I'm doing his, we're putting lights everywhere, even the beacons on the top and the bottom, as well as the wings and the landing gear. And also we've upgraded to a 100 amp smart ESC, and we're putting all E-Flight upgraded gear and everything. We're making this plane like it should have been made from the beginning. So it's going to be nice. And T-Cat, I'm hoping that it won't be too long before you can get me some wheel covers for that J65. Just let me know, man, if you come up with anything on those, because I'd love to get those and get them installed. And yes, the APU looks like it's painted silver, but now Motion is going to be selling that. They have those parts on their website, and they're not expensive. So I will probably replace the one on the J65 with the ones from Motion because I like the chrome. And that shouldn't be a problem to do. Yeah, that's an easy fix. T-Cat is that chrome APU. I've already thought about all that, man, because I really like the chrome ones on the Freewing. So, but yeah, I got to get some wheel covers for it, man. And I know you probably can't do anything much until you can actually get somebody to give you some measurements or something to build the file for. That being said, I might know someone from the first pre-production I saw. I bet he could pull me some measurements. Yeah. Let me see what I can do on that, T-Cat. I might could help you out with that. All right. Let's see. All right, fellas, and with that being said, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. It's 9:30, and I'm not going to keep you guys too long. Yeah, T-Cat, definitely. I'll see what I can find out on that, man. And I've got a source. I might can get some measurements and some up-close pictures. And if I can, then maybe we can start on that. I'll let you know in the next day or two. But guys, I'm going to let y'all get out of here and get back to whatever it is you were doing. Thank you again. I'm always humbled for all of you guys that come in here and hang out with me on Tuesday night, because I'm just a little fish swimming in a big pond, man. And nothing special, just enjoying what I do. And I appreciate all you guys that come in here and hang out with me, and pull yourselves away from whatever you're doing and just come in here and chill and hang out. So thank you for that. And hopefully weather's getting better. A couple more weeks, guys, and we will be able to gain an hour back. We will spring the clocks forward, and won't that be a wonderful thing? So thank you guys for being here. Hope you have a great week. Let's all pray for those people over in the Ukraine, and wish them the best, and hope that hopefully Russia will change some things and come to their senses before this gets out of hand for those people. And take care of yourselves. Be safe. And I'll see you next Tuesday night right here on Flight Club. I'm Jeff. You're watching Jeff's Custom RC.